At dawn, the mountains of La Mancha lay hushed, as though nature herself prepared to listen to grief. Around the newly dug grave, the shepherds stood in somber sheepskins, garlands dark with yew and cypress pressing upon their brows. Chrysostom's bier rested on flowers, and silence weighed heavier than stone. When the lay of Chrysostom was read aloud, its verses poured despair upon the air like ashes, summoning beasts, storms, and hell itself to witness rejected love. Each line trembled with jealousy, absence, and suspicion, and many listeners felt their hearts tighten, though some doubted whether such anguish could truly be blamed upon Marcela. Ambrosio, loyal beyond measure, defended his dead friend, explaining that distance and solitude had bred imagined torments. Thus, sorrow hovered unresolved, poised between poetry and truth, while the grave awaited its final burden. All waited, breath held for events to unfold beneath the silent sky of indifferent eternity above. From the shadowed edge of the rock appeared Marcela herself, calm as the hills, yet radiant beyond report. Murmurs rippled through the mourners, for beauty seemed joined to reason in her bearing. Ambrosio's grief flared into accusation, naming her cruel, basilisk, tyrant of love. Marcela answered without trembling. She came, she said, not to triumph, but to defend her freedom and her truth. Beauty, bestowed by heaven, binds no will. Love must be chosen, never forced. She had promised nothing, deceived no one, invited no hope. If Chrysostom perished, it was by obstinacy, not her resolve. Born free, she chose solitude, trees for companions, streams for mirrors, mountains for limits of desire. Modesty, she declared, is fire seen from afar, harmless unless approached. Her words rang clear, austere, unanswerable, leaving listeners stunned by the justice of her claim and the courage of her solitude. Silence fell, sealing her defense within every watching heart. Marcela turned from the grave without waiting reply, passing into the thick wood where sunlight thinned to green dusk. Some men, wounded by her eyes, stirred to follow, but Don Quixote stepped forth, hand on sword, proclaiming that none should pursue her without earning his wrath. He hailed her virtue as rare, her reasoning sound, and declared that honor demanded protection, not pursuit. The shepherds, checked by his voice and Ambrosio's grief, remained. The grave was closed with stone, flowers strewn thick as tears, and Chrysostom committed to earth. Talk followed, low and uneasy, weighing love against freedom, poetry against truth. Vivaldo departed, pondering both madness and wisdom, while Sancho trusted his master utterly. Don Quixote, meanwhile, resolved to seek Marcela only to serve, not to woo, believing chivalry bound him to defend liberty wherever beauty and injustice crossed paths beneath wandering skies. As the company dispersed, the mountains seemed to reclaim their ancient stillness, indifferent to human sorrow. Don Quixote lingered a moment by the grave, reflecting that true knighthood lay not in conquest, but in justice freely given. In Marcela, he had glimpsed an ideal rare in song or sword, a woman governed by reason, not fear. Sancho Panza, practical as ever, thought more of supper than philosophy, yet even he sensed the weight of what had passed. Ambrosio remained last, staring upon the stone that sealed his friend from light, murmuring farewells meant only for the dead. Thus ended the funeral, not with vengeance or repentance, but with unresolved thoughts carried away by departing feet. The tale of Marcela spread across valleys and hills, planting seeds of doubt in old customs, while Chrysostom's verses echoed on, lamenting love that demanded possession where freedom stood unyielding. As the sun climbed higher, the mourners departed by winding paths, each bearing a different lesson from the same scene. Some cursed Marcela's firmness, others praised her courage, but none forgot her voice. Don Quixote rode slowly, believing the mountains had witnessed a triumph of virtue greater than any duel. He reasoned that love without freedom was tyranny, and that a knight's duty lay in defending choice itself. Sancho listened, half comprehending, half dreaming of bread and wine, yet loyal in spirit. Behind them, the grave lay hidden by flowers, already surrendering its sorrow to earth. Chrysostom's tale, carried by rumor and song, began its long journey beyond these hills, destined to trouble hearts far removed from shepherds and solitude. In time, the funeral became legend, shaped by tongues more eager than truthful. Some said Marcela fled like a phantom, others that she ruled hearts with cruelty. Don Quixote rejected such distortions, holding fast to what he had witnessed. He judged her neither saint nor demon, but a woman insisting upon liberty in a world unused to granting it. Such resolve, he believed, required armor of spirit stronger than steel. The knight imagined future ages, recalling her stand as proof that beauty need not yield to desire. Sancho, trudging beside Rocinante, wondered how trouble followed his master so faithfully. Yet even he sensed that this tale differed from windmills and wineskins, for here madness bowed briefly before reason. Night returned to the mountains, and with it the hush of stars. Don Quixote lay wakeful, pondering love's contradictions, how it exalted the willing yet destroyed the obstinate. Chrysostom's verses haunted him, rich with passion yet poor in restraint. He concluded that suffering born of imagination could wound more deeply than any blade. Sancho slept soundly, untouched by poetic anguish, proof that peace often favored simplicity. Owls called across ravines, and streams whispered indifference to human vows. Thus, nature absorbed grief without judgment, offering no answers beyond endurance. In such reflections, the knight shaped his creed anew, resolving that chivalry must protect freedom, even from love's most eloquent chains. Morning found them descending toward gentler lands. Shepherd huts faded behind, replaced by open roads promising fresh trials. Don Quixote announced that fate had entrusted him with Marcela's defense, though she neither asked nor knew it. To him, this mattered little. Justice required no invitation. Sancho scratched his head, wondering how one protected a woman who wished for no protector. Yet he followed, trusting his master's compass, however erratic. The tale of Chrysostom lingered like mist, reminding both that words could wound as fiercely as weapons. Each step carried them farther from the grave, yet closer to the meaning drawn from. Travelers they met spoke already of the burial, embellishing sorrow with marvel. Don Quixote corrected them sternly, insisting that Marcela's virtue remain unsullied by rumor. His earnestness provoked smiles, but also thought. Some listeners, long accustomed to blaming women for male despair, felt their certainties tremble. Sancho watched these exchanges with quiet pride, seeing his master defend not fantasy, but fairness. Thus the knight's madness appeared strangely lucid, confounding those who sought to dismiss him. In this way, Chrysostom's death achieved what his love could not. It forced minds to reckon with freedom's cost. As days passed, Don Quixote wove Marcela's stand into his vision of knighthood. No longer did he imagine only dragons and tyrants. Now injustice wore subtler forms. He spoke of chains unseen, forged by expectation and desire. Sancho nodded, sensing truth, though lacking words. The road shimmered beneath heat, yet their purpose felt clarified. Chrysostom's verses, once lament, became warning. Love that demands reward poisons itself. Devotion without consent breeds ruin. These lessons, born of tragedy, traveled onward upon a knight-errant's tongue, seeking ears prepared to hear. At an inn they rested, where laughter and quarrel mingled freely. Don Quixote addressed strangers on virtue, drawing puzzled looks and reluctant admiration. Some mocked, others listened, and a few reflected. Marcela's name surfaced again, now softened by awe. Even absent, she reshaped discourse, standing as argument made flesh. Sancho feasted gladly, convinced philosophy tasted better with stew. Night ended the talk, but not the thought. Thus the chapter of grief continued beyond its page, alive in minds stirred by an unexpected defense of freedom. Dreams came heavy to Don Quixote, filled with forests and voices echoing truth. He saw Marcela as emblem rather than object, a symbol of will unbent. Awakening, he prayed not for conquest, but clarity. Sancho awoke hungry, proof that wisdom and appetite seldom share ours. They departed before sunrise, leaving behind beds and murmurs. The road welcomed them with dust and promise. Chrysostom lay still, yet his despair stirred movement, shaping paths unseen. In such paradox, the night found purpose renewed. News of the funeral reached villages where customs ran deep. Debate followed, heated and unresolved. Some praised Marcela's independence, others feared its example. Don Quixote encountered these disputes like skirmishes, wielding argument where sword proved useless. His fervor unsettled complacency, though few admitted it. Sancho marveled that words could strike harder than blows. Thus the tragedy became catalyst, awakening minds long dormant. Chrysostom's death, mourned once, now labored endlessly, reshaping thought beyond the valley of his grave. One evening, Don Quixote confessed to Sancho that sorrow refined courage. Without suffering, virtue remained untested. Chrysostom failed not in love, he said, but in restraint. Marcela succeeded not by beauty, but by resolve. Sancho, gazing at stars, concluded that goats and simple folk avoided such grief by wanting little. The knight smiled, conceding wisdom. Together they journeyed onward, bound by different truths, yet shared loyalty. In this companionship, madness softened, tempered by experience and compassion. Time dulled outrage, but not reflection. Marcela vanished into legend, free as she wished. Chrysostom rested beneath stone, his verses wandering where he could not. Don Quixote carried both within, shaping his path. Each injustice he encountered bore resemblance to that mountain scene. He defended servants, widows, and strangers, invoking Marcela's stand as proof that liberty deserved steel. Sancho followed, weary yet faithful, learning that even folly might shelter truth. Thus grief transformed into motion, sorrow into vow. As seasons turned, the tale gained new meanings. Lovers read Chrysostom's lay with caution, fearing excess. Women whispered Marcela's name with wonder. Don Quixote, hearing these echoes, felt his mission affirmed. Though mocked, he had witnessed justice firsthand. Such moments sustained him through ridicule and defeat. Sancho, older in spirit, understood that not all battles ended in victory, yet some ended ignorance. The road stretched endlessly, but purpose lent it form. Recalling the grave, Don Quixote spoke aloud a promise to defend choice wherever denied. The mountains answered with silence, indifferent yet enduring. Sancho nodded, thinking promises heavy but honorable. Thus knight and squire reaffirmed their bond, forged not only in delusion, but in shared witness. Chrysostom's sorrow had taught restraint. Marcela's courage had taught strength. Between these poles, the knight wandered, seeking balance in an unbalanced world. Stories, like travelers, change with distance, yet at their core remains truth for those who seek it. Don Quixote guarded that core fiercely, correcting exaggeration, honoring fairness. He believed that memory itself required chivalry. Sancho, amused yet loyal, carried the simpler truth that friendship endured storms. Together they advanced, leaving behind echoes of verse and argument, bearing forward lessons learned at a grave beneath indifferent skies. The sorrowful chapter, though its influence lingered. Chrysostom's despair warned against obsession. Marcela's speech illuminated freedom. Don Quixote embodied their collision, half mad, yet momentarily wise. Sancho embodied continuity, grounding ideals in hunger and sleep. The world resumed its rhythm, yet altered subtly. Love, liberty, and loss now shared space within memory. In such quiet transformations, history advances, shaped by moments few intend but many inherit. And so the road carried them onward, bearing the weight of grief refined into understanding. The grave lay sealed, but its lesson walked free. Don Quixote rode convinced that even madness could serve truth when guided by justice. Sancho followed, content that loyalty mattered more than reason alone. Behind them, the mountains returned to silence, yet beneath that calm rested a voice unforgotten. Chrysostom slept, Marcela lived unbound, and the knight-errant journeyed on, forever changed by what he had seen and sworn to remember.